Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Little unfortunate for BDS because coming off of the loss yesterday, it's got a sting. Like being that far ahead and then end up losing out to Heretics definitely hurt. So I think they'll be coming back to see if they can make a bit of a statement to say, look, no, we're still high up in these contentions and want to show what we're worth, especially when it's even though it's always kind of been the Fnatic and the G2s, BDS has constantly been in that conversation for top 4, if not top 3 in Europe, at least over the last few years.
And with Koi and KC getting better, I mean, they don't want to be drowned out. So let's hope as well Paris especially has a better day. We can talk about that as we go into game, but I know as well, Skarner being banned away, just the usual. Corki, Vi. I see a Jace actually on blue side as a ban, which is interesting.
Skarner and Victor are our only two 100% presence champions. So will we get a Victor ban here? Or will we see it high prio here for Nuke on BDS if it's not taken away?
My only question is, if it is picked up, will we get a Jojo Akali? Okay, Victor's open. Varus the ban instead. BDS thinking about what direction they want to do. Think about the junglers that we've seen so far. And Sejuani also an option. Crisante, that was banned away blue side consistently.
Okay.
And BDS are going to prioritize it here while Koi think about their options.
I mean, the champions that Mirren has played are just K'Sante and Mbessa.
Yeah.
So kind of the Mbessa over there kind of saying, look, I'm probably going to go back towards this. I think it does fine into the K'Sante anyway, so I think they're going to be happy to take it. I think the priority... Okay, I was going to say, should be on something like the Victor if you want to look towards it. Or if you're at least going to go for this this Zyra, it's probably not going to be... Yeah, it's not going to be the Victor or probably an AP mid at all for Movistar Koi. More looking towards Yone or even flexing that Mbessa into the mid lane.
The versatility of it is what makes it such a good pick at the moment, especially since I know a lot of people like it and how it can deal with the K'Sante. But Victor, as we said, big priority pick. Kind of has to be picked, I think, at this point. But it's just about what jungle you get going into El Yoya, because that high IP, yep, it seems it's going to be the Sejuani again, especially with that melee top lane. Big front line.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly what the idea is here for Jojo. I think you have to take an AD mid here, just because you've already got the Zyra locked in.
True.
But it's probably Yone, I'd imagine. And then you're looking for some sort of mixed damage AD carry. So Ez kind of has that, but yeah, I think you have to take the Yone. Yeah, there it is.
True.
Just to make sure you can actually get your hands on it. It's not going to be banned away.
Had a pretty good game on it from memory as well. I think that was the Vitality game, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, had some great engages on with the ultimate.
Yeah. Not going to have the same setup as like you would with the pairing of Sejuani, but nevertheless, as mid is now picked, we need to see what goes into the bottom side. As you said, a damage profile kind of important here as Alistar's taken away. Are we just going to pick Rel on 4?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rel.
If it's available.
If the next ban is a Braum, I imagine we're immediately going to go for that Rel just to stop the counter pick. But Rel, I think, insanely strong at the moment, so no reason not to go towards that pick. And Alvaro's been performing fantastically. It's actually going to be the Ashe ban, so curious. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what they're looking for in the AD carry role, because I don't think Ashe has been, like, we haven't really seen it that high prio at all over the course of LEC. Maybe something like a Kai'Sa or the Zai is what they're looking at, like a shorter range
follow up
AD
on the
carry.
dive.
But honestly, I think when you've got the Zyra, you're kind of, I suppose you have some lockup, but you're kind of happy to absorb a lot of dive as well. So
the Braum ban from BDS is interesting, Dagda. I guess they think, what, we're going to pick the Rel because they want to get the priority AD carry.
Yeah, it looks like they're just setting up for the Ezreal pick. So kind of surprised to see the Ashe ban. I thought they could have opened up a little bit more, but yeah, I think the Rel going to come through here for Paris, make sure that he's going to be happy on that one. And then not really much left for Alvaro, maybe falling back towards something like the Renata could be it, but Renata Ezreal, not exactly a stellar lane combo because you don't really get use of the attack speed. So you're more looking towards, I think, a Rakan here. But even then, if you get caught up, it's a bit of a miserable time for the Rakan and up against the Rel.
Well, let's just see that AD carry locked in again. When you think about what's left, I mean, Kai'Sa can come through. Jinx is another one as well for Ice, a favorite last year. And I mean, yeah, you've got the front line. You play the front to back. And you've got high scaling damage now on BDS as well. It's kind of how they played last year as well, Dagda. We saw a lot of team fighting comps. Nuke and Ice put into the threshold of their carry role.
I'm also curious what build we get to see in this Jinx. We talked about that Kraken Slayer into the Hullbreaker. Yeah, getting very popular over in, or even in solo queue as well at the moment. So curious what the game plan is. But there's the Leona. So team's kind of happy to opt into it. Looks like the Leona into the Rel and just say, look, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to fish for these long-range engages with the Leona ult and hope that we can be the ones that pull the trigger first.
But I'm excited because Alvaro syncing up with Elyoya has been something that we've kind of been talking about. We've been talking a lot about support jungle synergy, and I think it's really important when we've had these lane swaps, we've had these constant changing for grubs. Support and jungle seems like a really important duo role because of how much early objectives there are in the game and how much of these lane swaps actually come in that's set up for dives. In fact, I see a lot of dives coming through from Koi. I see a lot of confidence on their roster. And for our last game of the day, I mean, it is a good draft to see a bit of action early, and especially those 5v5s later on.
Yeah, I think the jungle support for Movistar Koi has kind of been the best in the league at the moment, trying to work together to get that early control. And even we saw yesterday when they had the Talia for Jojo Pyun as well, they were trying to play for a lot of that mid-jungle support to invade onto the bottom side of the map, but unfortunately the combo just wasn't quite working out between them. They ended up giving over some kills and had to fight that game back against Giant X to take that one to a victory. So I think there is a lot of eyes to see how they can impact towards the mid lane once again, especially when you got the Yone there. If you can get this Yone rolling early, side lane is very much strong for Movistar Koi with the likes of this Ambessa and Yone.
We find out how Jojo has another day on the Rift here in EU. I hope the lack of sun is treating him okay here in Berlin. As
hope his mouse is treating him okay now.
Yeah.
He was talking about his DPI was wrong for the first two games.
The old chat yesterday, he got called out, which was quite funny. But that was by G2, I believe, yesterday. The problem is a lot of games blend together.
Oh, it was Giant X yesterday.
Giant X, another big top contender where Koi gave them their first loss. So a massive day indeed yesterday. As a lot of people are excited about this roster, the Spanish fans out in force. And it would be crazy if all those legacies and dynasties started to get taken over by some of the strongest fandom we've ever seen in the West, in Koi.
I mean, it has to happen eventually. I mean, us two were there in the LPL as the likes of EDG and RNG started to fall, and you get to see the JDGs, the BLGs,
the top esports rise.
The top esports rise.
Yep.
So at some stage, it has to happen. It's just a case of if Movistar Koi, the KCs, are now able to step up to that, but it's BDS who were kind of the gatekeepers to that. And Movistar Koi want to see if they can take them down and really start that.
As a side note, it is Grass Victor this game as well. So if you're expecting something else, he's going to try and use that range advantage and just abuse Jojo.
Yeah, I think it's more just to try and get as much damage out of like the likes of the extra shield bash and stuff like that. And you can already see just getting.
Oh, Nuke is styling this lane.
Yeah, Grasp just, with fleet footwork being reduced on range carries, Grasp kind of just became that replacement. And that's why we started to see, like, even at Worlds, a lot of the Aries starting to opt in towards Grasp and dying. So it is just a very strong lane, and then obviously opens up for some of the nicer tools in there for Victor as well. So he's going to be happy out in this lane and just trying to make sure Jojo Pyun has a bit of a miserable time.
Now, if you can't already see, obviously bot lanes are top in this game. They've just swapped lanes, but it is standardized laning with both junglers actually heading up here. The only difference is Elyoya is quicker on the clear, being the Zyra. And I love it. Thank you, observers. Let's just stay here. A happy place for BDS fans, a sad place for MDK fans as, excuse me, Movistar Koi. Still in the back of my mind is, yeah, Jojo is just going to continue playing this out. I mean, Fleet will give him a bit of sustainability to get through. As Irrelevant does fine for now into Mirwin until Mirwin really has an item.
Yeah, still, you can see Nuke's trying to look for trades.
Help!
Doesn't need to. I thought he was going to pop. There it is. I was going to say pop his pot at this stage because he was taking a little bit of a worse for wear trade, but Alvaro trying to press up.
Zenith Blade. Remember, there's a crash down here as well, and as it goes, Elyoya, not sure if he was spotted on vision, but 113 is nearby as well. Just in case, as Mirwin goes for the all-in, low mana bar on Irrelevant as he misses a Q. Mirwin also levels up, and there is a bit of a threat here, one I didn't expect as Irrelevant matches that 4.
Yeah, so Ambessa doesn't actually get access to the healing on her abilities until she hits level 6. So at the moment, it's just kind of going trading back and forth and trying to use the Grasp and dying. But the lack of mana on Irrelevant definitely going to be a bit rough.
Sorry, Dagger, really anxious right now. I mean, if Nuke gets a Q
great
off,
ward from Nuke.
Really good timing, hey?
Yeah, so just spots out immediately that Ayoya is over the wall, because if Jojo had gone for the solo and bound into third Q knockup, just the damage from Zyra may have been enough to try and set up something a little wonky there in mid lane, but doesn't have to burn anything. So great heads up play from Nuke just as to where the enemy jungle is.
And Nuke will now be able to get the push back as well, as TP's burnt by Jojo to get him full health. As he comes back, he's got a full wave to deal with. We'll give Nuke time too. Let's see if he walks the lane or TP's back. He's done pretty well so far. A lot of grass stacks as well. You know something that's really broken on Jay? I know we don't have a Jason game. I just need to tell you.
Okay.
Remember we talked about it, and maybe you were the one that actually told me, so this is just irrelevant now.
You get to sound smart though, so that's
you know when you auto, when you have grasp on Jace, and you're in range, but if you turn to melee form, you get a melee stack of grasp.
So you have to do
is that?
As the range auto attacks in mid-air, you change into melee form. But yeah, that was Mr. Goober, so shout out to him.
You could have lied, said it was you, but you're just such a nice person, aren't you?
I could never do that to Gibbers.
Nah, you wouldn't. That's what makes Dag now. Now, enough talking yourself up. As 5 minutes
Thanks.
in.
I was feeling weird over here.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I don't want you to feel weird. Dragon's up, by the way. Grubs in 50 seconds. Mid continues to be fun because Nuke has a wave right at his doorstep. Jojo has to walk in and try and help crash it. So, yeah, a bit of an awkward state as that range advantage continues being a pain. Elioy is now up in the top side, and he's half the way to level 6. Remember, as soon as Zyra gets that 6, that burst is just online.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out basically in a 3v3 scenario between BDS's AD carry, jungle and support, and Movistar Koi, who actually comes out on top. Because I think if you connect with Ice, I think you've got enough burst damage to kill someone fairly quickly. But I think if you end up with anyone else, I actually think BDS just have the tankiness to turn around and kill fairly quickly. And if Ice gets excited, it's a little bit dangerous. So I think that's why Movistar Koi are kind of playing for counter engage in the hopes they can turn on towards Ice. But this is a little bit of risky business, especially when you've got that Victor who should get control of the mid lane here.
Well, Sejuani is now spotted as well. You speak about mid as Jojo just unseals his soul for a little bit. Nuke was a small trade. Chaos Storm is up and available. Fate Sealed also there. So if mid laners get involved, expect me to talk and yap a little bit about what ults matter. As 113 is the one who started up, but Smite is just a yoink. That's from Elyoya. He walks in, takes it, gets the experience off it as well. He's so close to getting 6. Off this last grub, he should just find it. And with that pressure, BDS are backed off. Koi get all 3 grubs. Excuse my speaking of the experience. Obviously don't know grubs well enough as Elyoya just went up top. He just siphoned for 6 now.
Yeah, so now he's level 6 Paris in a little bit of trouble.
Don't walk in.
Don't have a Sejuani here at all.
Grasping roots, and with an ulti, Paris could be in trouble. Here's the Ezreal Archangel forward. Super takes 1 turret shot, not 2. Then we would have started complaining as Ice was ready there to auto-attack.
So I don't think Elyoya wanted to commit the ultimate because Dragon is up, and I believe Movistar Koi want to try and commit for that as well. You see the TP from Mirren down to that bottom side to be in position so we can push wave to get across. And it looks like instead they're just going to try to clear the wave and then get into position with the push on top, but Supa's still sticking around a little bit longer on that top side. So might just go for the 4v4 instead.
See how top lane's coming to the equation as well. Because Sheen's picked up here by Irrelevant versus Pickaxe and the M-Pesa. And it's important to know because all they're going to want to do is team fight in this game, as you'd expect. Salvaro's still roaming around the map, looking to see what he can find and probably get some deep vision here. There's 113, now with Glacial Prison available. Probably looks for the clear and then thinks about what he can do with this Dragon bot that Dagda was talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where Movistar Koi are putting the resources, because Alvaro did kind of sneak in to clear out vision, but doesn't establish any vision for Dragon. You've got Supa opening top.
Jojo, is it a mistake? The soul was unsealed, unfaded, and Chaos Storm is now unleashed, and Paris is tanking up. Fate Sealed is great, though! Jojo thought he was in trouble, but the ambulance for the other side now called.
So they hadn't spotted Supa on any wave, so I think BDS thought, hey, he's gone up to top side, they're not going to try and contest for Dragon, which is where I thought they were going as well. So BDS commit onto mid instead, but they end up with the turnaround as Supa was actually just hovering out on the wings.
The only rectifying factor is the fact that Ice is now at turret, denying all these minions, but Supa should get the majority here. He walked down, too scared to look for that first turret plating, and first blood, however, going over to Jojo when he's been stuck in this lane. 300 gold lead. Not too bad when you're the Yone.
Nicely done by Movistar Koi, but there's not really anything on this top side, so I think Movistar Koi more nervous that maybe some sort of play is going up towards Supa. So you can see where Elyoya is just sitting, pocketing the Ezreal right now to make sure that nothing does happen. As Supa would like to be able to connect onto these waves, but Ice outranges him, outlevels him, and 113 is waiting in the wings.
Alvaro and Elyoya are here, but the problem is the Zyra is still with ulti up and available. You're waiting. Zen played forces 113 out, grasping roots away from Paris. A little bit short, it seems, as the poke will just come through from Elyoya, but nothing more.
And Alvaro just understanding, hang on a second, 113 doesn't have that ult available, so I'm very much free to go in on this. Elyoya having not used his in the last engagement, he's in a good spot, so Movistar Koi continue to keep pressure up here, but 113 nearly has the ult up and available.
Trisha Barrage with a bit of poke. This 3v3 continues to play out. We're just facing off. Good movie, by the way, if you haven't seen Face Off. John Travolta, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, you can quote that one next if you want to.
I can look that up. I want to take his face off. That's it. That's a quote, actually. I can tell you that because I laughed. I'm like, oh, you know when you watch a movie and you go, oh my God, they said the name of the movie. that's one of those moments.
Okay.
That's one of those moments. Good movie, because Nicolas Cage then has to play John Travolta, and John Travolta then has to play Nicolas Cage.
That actually sounds
because they change their faces.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the movie, but they do change faces. I mean, it's in the title, what am I saying? And it is like 20 years old. I don't think it's spoiled. Just like how, you know, if I said a certain character dies in Half-Blood Prince of Harry Potter, it's not a spoiler because it's been out for too long, you know what I mean?
You are rereading though, right?
But I am rereading. But I mean, anyway, Alvaro slowed down. How's Dumbledore these days? That's all I'm going to say is Void Grubs. They've now spawned again. 3 of them already taken by Koi. All they need is 4 for the Mites. All they need is another 3 to help get that objective bounty, or rather the objective setup for the feats. BDS want it badly. They want this fight.
Movistar Koi are getting control of the waves though, which is kind of the more important thing, because now Jojo gets the roam down from top. And they're just controlling this area really well, because if you imagine the big Stranglethorns right in this area here, it's going to be near impossible for BDS to really contest that. So Movistar Koi just playing with Elyoya in a perfect position here. So 113 needs to really hit with the ult.
They're setting up. The ult is hit, and Alvaro's squishy enough. There's the Stranglethorns, as you talked about. The ulti dodge, though. Alvaro's not dead yet. BDS want to charge forward as Irrelevant's ult is now popped out. But remember, BDS's comp don't have that much damage. They've used everything. But no Manabar on ice, and Jojo is now full health.
And Ambess is on the way, so everything used by BDS, and now Movistar Koi want to see if they can fight back.
Jojo gets tagged out. Alvaro thinks about the engage, but he's got nothing up and available. Flip back as Mirwin's ready to come in. There's the ultimate, the Magnet Storm in from the Rel. And remember, BDS, like I said, they haven't scaled yet, Dagda. So their damage kind of falling a bit as Koi now move in, and they're going to take 5 grubs.
I didn't quite see. I need to rewatch. Looks like Paris got interrupted there as he went for the engage, and Alvaro was just about able to skirt away. He was looking for that engage to see if he could pick off the support, but just overextends a little bit, and Movistar Koi, they end up coming away with a win, and 5 grubs as well.
And 5 grubs on this mid lane turret. I mean, Super's just going to get an easy plate right now, but expect more damage to come down in the next couple of minutes. It's a 2k gold lead. And we'll watch once more as this play is just a recoil.
So Alvaro manages to get the W off, and there's the Stranglethorns, which gets the knock-up, and then a good dodge on Ice's ultimate from Alvaro as well. Supa gets pulled away by Irrelevant, but now Irrelevant taking a good chunk of damage back, and they're just trying to buy time as the Ambessa gets through here. But I'm trying to watch what happens to Paris here as he goes in, because I'm not entirely sure what ends up connecting onto him. Because just barely. So he ends up flashing. So you can ult flash as Rel, and immediately as he does so, actually just gets locked up by the Stranglethorns coming through from the Zyra, and then can't follow up with the crash down. So just great timing from Elyoya on that, and you can see frustration there. That could have been a really strong engage by Paris.
Great grasping roots in the end. I mean, Elyoya once again having a carry performance. There's only been 3 kills in this game, but let me tell you, Koi have benefited from each and every one. Jojo's in a good spot. He's up gold in what this range matchup was. Elyoya's up against this tank as you'd expect. But everything's red right now. And all I know is red is the color of Spain. Is it? Yes.
Yeah, red and yellow.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Fantastic.
Technically Canada as well, because it's red and white.
No, but yeah, wrong area. It's the color of Spain. And Koi, color as well. I'm sure there's got to be some brown in there. That's dragon.
Okay.
Mountain dragon.
Okay, yeah.
You looked at me weird. It's mountain dragon. I mean, there is brown in there. I've seen the flag.
Yeah, it's a little crest.
Yeah. So that's also brown.
Maybe it's gold, though. I haven't looked that closely.
I need a color check. To be fair, I can never be wrong. There's a flag right here. Red, yellow, and yeah, the crest. Not everyone sees colors the same way. This is just a good time to say that.
Some people are colorblind?
Yep.
Is that where we're going now,
but
Jake?
also, some people don't see perfect color. I'm not. I'm one of them. You know, there is actually such a thing as perfect color. There's people like
perfect pitch?
It's like 1 out of 100,000 or something can see colors perfectly, like better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
It's the same as well as that the mantis shrimp can see like 10 times the amount of colors that we can or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What I would give to be a shrimp right now. Okay. Then I wouldn't be here with you, Dagger.
Yeah. But if we're all shrimp together. Sorry, it's kind of the weird part of the night.
It is. It is. It's getting late. To be fair, the games haven't gone as long as yesterday. I think yesterday the games were going very long. I mean, we had a pause, but apart from that, things going okay. As Jojo into Nuke, it's starting to get a bit heavy here as Paris is waiting. Jojo wants a ward, finds it, sees everyone in there, still walks forward because his team's on the way, but he went early. BDS just slap him as Mir wants a public execution onto Ice. He finds it, really well done. That's a lot of damage and cleans up the kill. That makes it even for Koi as they're going to open up mid with those 5 grubs. Turrets drop like flies.
Yeah, Relevant going to be able to get on out of there, but they're trying to trade it for bot lane turret at the moment. It's just a case of how far Movistar or Koi want to go for this.
They're going to make it a dive, but into Cassante. Solar Flare, is it enough? Yes, Stranglethorns make it so. The Chuggle is also good. El Yoya takes the last hit, takes another one, unfortunately, because the plants are in action, but an inner turret mid broken down. Great siege from Koi.
And this makes it so difficult for BDS to try to defend these outer turrets as well, because you just shove in mid, happy as you like as Movistar Koi, and then just disappear into Fog of War. So Movistar Koi, like again, great training the map, and this early aggression is really becoming a trademark of this team, slamming early jungle support plays, being able to find success on invades and going for dives around in their side laners, and then great trades on the map again. You do have Rift Herald up and available. I don't think you're really able to contest this as BDS, maybe with a pick, but the vision's there from Movistar Koi.
And Super also just having another great game. He's always part of plays. You know, he's 86% kill participation as well. And you might think, oh yeah, so what, as an 80 carry? But when him and Alvaro are always involved in plays, you know that this duo is just starting to run the map again on top of El Yoya as well, of course, as Herald's going to start off. He pokes it out, and Alvaro's here with Solar Flare almost up and available again.
Yeah, but again, that control is perfect. And it's so difficult for BDS to really contest because, again, the Stranglethorns from El Yoya is so perfect. The ultimate from Jojo Pyun just to follow over the top. Like, these small entrances into River are really difficult to deal with.
Gone.
So, it's gone.
It's a trade of turret. They finally get the outer turret for BDS. Bit of gold back. But the Herald, it can be used for this outer and top, outer and bot. Can be used to threaten the inhibitor turret mid because earlier than normal, we just have an inside track for Koi to go through that mid lane. As waves being defended right now, only thing up and available will be the Dragon in a minute 30. That's our next look here as Koi already picked up the first and Jojo just stopping and getting a bit of tempo there against enemy jungle.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a little bit of a slow burner now because Movistar Koi, a minute until Dragon, they're just going to push out the waves at least as best they can and try and open up for that. I think BDS are just making the right call, which is continue to play 4 sides and just hope maybe we can get a side lane turret. Nuke, going to try and keep this wave up, but I think you forego a Dragon, it's second Dragon, and try and play for top tower instead.
I was trying to make a play onto Jojo. BDS were there, but with the soul unbound as well, he was always going to snap back. He walks down towards his support, and 113 has wasted about a minute. He's still here. He's still here. Nuke is far away. I
actually like this, though. Like, genuinely, because look at Jojo. He thinks he's completely safe because all the vision that they've set up on this top side... Oh, it doesn't matter.
Is it buffered? Is it buffered? No, it's not. Jojo unseals his soul once again. This long con play, surely it's going to work out. A Nuke flashes to make it so. So, Dagda, you're right. You liked it because in the end, it was well fought.
Well, the thing was, there was a ton of vision that was set up in this top side, right? They had here covered, here covered, here covered, and then also the one in River. Now, it did get cleared out at the end, but it meant that, in all intents and purposes, Jojo was like, I have everything in vision. There is no way they are getting past my radar, but didn't realize that he was already snuck his way into the enemy backline. So, really good job from 113 to find that. But, Zupa, now up on this top end of the map, just going to have to cover And maybe this does open up a potential dragon play for BDS, but I think they're a little slow to come across.
It gets Nuke on the board at least with a kill as well and gets some gold back in his pocket. I think that's an important thing to note, as he also brought up the topic of Dragon, and it is a Hextech Drake as well. Now the only thing to put in dimension is that BDS, even though they're out on the map, they've been given time now. They're still looking at defending and making a counterplay towards top. Super and Alvaro are getting this push on the outer turret, so Dragons just ignore. Everyone's up here.
But Jojo isn't, and Ice is able to get there a little bit quicker, and Irrelevant has snuck his way up as well, so I don't think Movistar quite realized quite how many members of BDS are in the area. Nuke gonna reset and try and move his way into that bottom wave, which is starting to collect. But Movistar Koi, again, this is kind of the problem you have when this mid lane turret goes down. Because look, we have to try and catch right now as Ice. You're so far back, which means that then this entire line just becomes controlled by Movistar Koi. It makes it impossible to move up over towards the... thank you. I appreciate that. It makes it very difficult to move up to defend the tower.
And that's Koi right now. Happy as Larry that they can move their vision in. Voracious. Good one. But yeah, I mean, this is why as early as these turrets have gone down, it just enables vision galore. Now Koi move. They move Jojo to the Dragon. They'll get number 2 of the Drake. And with Atakan supporting top as well, that's our next look. So it's been a slow burner. But for Koi, it's not like we're talking about outscaling or anything. You know, I know BDS, we've got the simple front to back. We've got 3 items. We're looking for Jinx. We're looking for Victor scaling. But let's be real. I mean, for Koi as well, this mid-game should just be a runaway as well, especially when Jojo's in the side lanes. And he's looking good.
Ice might get caught by Alvaro.
Yep, Solar Flare. Would you like a cleanse with that? No, only a happy meal for Ice. He just walks out and he's kept his summoners.
So though, I don't think it's like the end of the world for Alvaro to kind of throw that out, because at this stage, as you highlighted there, Movistar Koi control the pacing of this game. They're going to move in, they get top vision, they just want to push in top wave, push in mid, and then continuously steal vision out of BDS's hands. And you can always fall back to Atakan, and you can always wait for Jojo Pyun, who now is a very real threat in the side lane, to go for the all-in on Nuke, burn some spells there, maybe even get a kill, and then just look for the play afterwards.
BDS still playing defensive. This vision line still talked about, still looked at as Koi continue defending it themselves. Mirwin's getting the push down the wave as Nuke versus Jojo. This is happening now. Fate sealed under turret. Is he overcooking it? That's a question. The turret gets him. Nuke gets some movement speed, thumbs in the air because...
Incredible banana drawn by Jojo.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a legendary combo. Only Xiaohu was known for that last year. Well, he wasn't the only one, but you know what I mean. That's a big ulti. Stranglethorn's just sent out. El Yoya, the charge has already come through as well. Inner turret burned. Koi running forward onto 113. Mirwin's here, but he's going to be the target. Magnum Storming flashes away from True Shot Barrage, pokes them as Irrelevant. He went in, but now he went out with his flash. So, BDS lose the turret. And even though the summoners are a trade, Koi still went out in the end.
Exactly, and they still keep control of this top side, which is all they really want. Nuke is doing a decent job of pushing Jojo Pyun back in this bottom lane. You can see him chasing him in towards River, but the resets are going to come through. Theory, Ice could. No, I wasn't sure if he was going to toss a zap in there.
Yeah.
Did you see to get Alvaro? That's it.
I heard ice could. I thought ice cold.
And yeah, now you just come back out onto the top side, and Jojo Pyun's ultimate's going to be back up in a moment. This is fine. Like, there's not really any threat from Movistar.
Okay, gold lead. Again, it's been a bit of a slow one, but
it feels slow because it's only 22 minutes, right? That's the thing, is that Movistar Koi blew open the game so quickly by taking that tier 2 tower.
But it's been controlled.
Yeah.
Like, really, really controlled. And now they're like, okay, this is our jungle. Remember, again, it's just so easy to access this. And Koi zone off because one misstep, one bad move from BDS. They get this Atakan. It will go down pretty quick. They've also got TPs to commit for a fight as well, so they can be there in a flash.
This is risky from BDS, because Ice is going to be very separated from them, and yet there's Mirwin coming in.
Thinking about perfect execution, he lacerates to get in range. That Drakehound step is just a threaten. True Shot Barrage onto Paris, onto Nuke. They do some damage, but maybe not enough to start thinking about this objective. As Jojo now foregoing bottom side. He's through mid, he wants a Fate Sealed. Nuke flashes away from double ulti. Jojo still gets some good poke damage off. There's 113 with the permafrost. The setup of the ulti is Paris is the poke out target. He's ignited down, but Jojo flashing forward just out of range. Now he's into Chaos Storm. Now he's blown up. BDS get a pick and they get a reset for Ice, but Mirwin, he's back into the fray and he's pretty tanky. He'll just keep Drake hounding it up. Dragos would be proud as Mirwin continues to rap battle with this Ambessa.
There is so many carries on Movistar Koi. You flip one down and one immediately takes his place. Jojo falls, but Mirwin gets blast coned in on towards Irrelevant. He picks him off, and now they're going to be able to turn over towards Atakan and pick that one off as well.
This will go down pretty quick as well, thanks to Zyra too. So it just keeps happening. It just keeps being Koi's game to lose, and it's just so simple, isn't it?
I mean, what do you do?
What do you do?
It's a nice attempt here. Like, I think this was risky from BDS trying to push in here, but good flash from Nuke. Jojo Pyun goes forward, and then they try to turn on Super. The cleanse works out really well for him, but again, Paris is rooted up, and it's watch Irrelevant here. So you get the ultimate from Ambessa, actually puts her over the wall, so he gets to kill Irrelevant, and then although Jojo Pyun goes down, 113 tried to follow up, but only ends up setting himself up for Super with the retake as he comes through. Nuke ends up falling to Mirwin as well, and even a little bit of a giggle from the end from the Spanish top laner.
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's having a great game. He's having a clean game, and you know, Ice gets a reset there, but Dagda still no 3 items. And remember, that 4th is probably going to be the Infinity Edge after he builds up the last Whisper, so they still need more time, Dagda. They still need more damage, and BDS have not been given time in this game as Baron now spawns.
I think the problem is more so just the space that they have to work with. Like, they in theory have a lot of damage. Like, you saw what Nuke could do to Jojo Pyun, and you get the reset for Ice, but they'd already given up so much space that they couldn't really fight back. So I think they're going to be in a similar position here where if they try to contest into these small choke points, Movistar Koi get to come alive. So it's just, how do you try and fight back? And as long as Movistar Koi don't overextend or someone gets caught out, I think they're in a fine spot, although it looks like...
Oh, this is a Baron start if I've ever seen one.
That's
Look at the
plants.
plants. Oh my God, it's Professor Sprout's herbology. Ulti used. The plants are just going to take this before BDS are even aware about the health bar. Yep, Baron down, Alvaro zones, and BDS were here to try and play the rest of the fight. Jojo thinks about an angle yet again, but even though the permafrost was set up with the Glacial Prison, you look at Mirwin, who gets a public execution in the back line. Nuke, dead first. 1-1-3. What's his scoreline, I wonder? Because he's going to die yet again. Put the 3 in the middle as Koi run down top. They've got 2 dead on the enemy side for 40 seconds. And this one just feels even more over.
They still have to wait for the wave. You can see Super escorting that one in on the top side. Wave just about to crash. And I think that tower is going to crash along with it.
Ice is trying. He's going to try and wave clear this, but feels like you also need the Victor. Koi also still have the Atakan buff for another 30, 40 seconds, I'd like to say, as Mirwin jumps forward. Remember, they can die. They can just int this because it won't matter. Alvaro runs in and looking for the stun. He's going to die eventually, but it is a trade because Ice is now dead. Mirwin gets some damage on the back burner as well as BDS managed to defend for now, but Ice is dead. 40 seconds. The timer not there, even if they wanted to think about the Dragon.
They just, there's nothing you can do. It's the strength of Atakan. The fact that you can go for these plays, play hyper-aggressive, and still have a backup plan is going to work out well. 1-1-3, running as quickly as he can down into this bottom side of the map, but Movistar Koi is still making their way back out. But with no AD carry to speak of, you're kind of doomed.
Yeah, you kind of are. It feels pretty close to real right now. 3rd Dragon will be taken. It is actually 1-3-2, by the way. Shame there's no 1 assist.
So close.
So close. Well, the last 2 games have been kind of stompy.
Yeah, a little bit.
KC, I mean, at least Rogue's early game was, I think, quite competitive. But, you know, this game, like BDS, haven't been able to hold a candle, really.
Did GB and Jack Spectra's bet ever get made public? I can't remember. Or games last longer than last minute? Because I'm really curious. Because this is still quite stompy, but it's still 27 minutes.
True.
Most games have been over 30 minutes, so...
We don't see, like, the 20-minute games very often. A little bit in the LPL, but, again, not watching enough of the LCK, I feel, so... Not sure if that's the case there, but yeah, it does feel so much longer, doesn't it? More objectives to fight over. You'd think the game would end quicker, but it is snowbally at the very least. Irrelevant just getting poked out. I mean, what do you say at this point? Mirwin just jumped in to 5 people. You know what? Why not? True Shot Barrage, Nuke, lucky to be alive. Irrelevant, the same can be said. It will still be a double inhibitor, even though Mirwin just decided to try and end it himself.
he had an idea.
Yep.
May not have been the best of ideas, but I'm sure there was one behind that. As Movistar Koi, like you said, it's all 3 nibs down. They're going to play it nice and slow. 30 seconds until Mirwin can TP back in, and They just overrun them with minions. Ooh.
Flash, Jojo still hit. He might be in trouble here. The Yone surviving for now. Irrelevant gets the flip back, but look at Elyoya's damage. With the poke from Super in back, it doesn't matter. They can be a man down. They're still so far ahead as Irrelevant is just trying to buy time for the game to go on, but Super's not going to let him. While that chase comes down, the Stranglethorns gets a knock up. Death Rocket would be good, but Nuke flashed in to get nothing. Jojo takes him out clean with Elyoya's support of the plants.
Super is just still going. Finally gets the tank, and now Mirren's finally back up, so they will be able to TP in just shy of 30 minutes. Looks like Movistar Koi have it.
They'll move up alongside KC, alongside Ginex, alongside Fnatic. About day 2, week 2, it looks like our top teams are being cemented. It looks like BDS ain't what they used to be. They'll get sent to the fountain, and now with the Bear Nexus, Movistar Koi, your fans have something to be rewarded for. Their undying loyalty of last year, how close you got. It looks like you're getting close again to the top of the table as you move to 4-1.